Okay, zone control comp here from the side of Bro. DRX have selected Azir. Let's see how that works as we do move on to the Rift for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Yeah, there are some fans out there who are desperate for a victory.
They are not giving up, Valdez. They are unrelenting in their support, which I do appreciate, because it's tough for fans of both these two teams. Teddy is going for lethality. I do think that makes more sense specifically with Bard, because lethality has a much easier time clearing the waves without actually getting access to it. I do worry about how good that is going to be, especially if you get put behind at any point against the double front line of Morgan and Gideon. And if Seta builds a Lich Bane again, especially with lethality Varus, I will not be pleased. I will be very upset, because then I don't think the front line ever, especially with Melio,
it never
ever dies.
Ever.
They just don't. Just doesn't happen.
Actually, never.
Actually,
like, there are times where we say like never, but this time for real.
No, but for real.
For real this time, actually, nobody will ever die. Now, we do have a little bit of a jungle swamp situation.
Jungling.
Yeah. Gideon has moved in with Morgan to take the enemy raptors, and so Sponge is going to say, okay, I'll take your raptors. Which means he'll play on the bottom side of the map in those jungles, and but as we see that actually hitting level 2, Gideon is going down now towards his red, saying he wants to defend.
And might not have vertical jungling after all. Gideon does want to look. He doesn't have prio in bot though, so
he's just running at him.
Yeah, but I don't know about this invade. Definitely optimistic. He is still waiting. Might look for Sponge, but I think Sponge has a lot of safety. And he also knows that Gideon hasn't left, because they have a ward there.
Yeah. And just playing into the Giga Chad, you know,
yeah,
kind of name here.
I mean, you can say that. I would say he's wasting time, because he doesn't have bot lane prio, so he can't really do anything in the 1v1.
You could say that. Or
that is the way to look at it.
He just said, I'm a Giga Chad. I'm going to give a little chance here to Sponge just to get ahead of me.
I don't need to optimize my time clearing the jungle. That's a 2% play if I've ever seen one of Valdez.
True.
As we do see Karis, as expected, doing a great job here in the matchup. Orianna has been so strong into Azir for many a reason. Initially, when this matchup started coming up, we were still very much in the Azir camp, given that, in theory, you should be able to get level 6, then swoop up Orianna, force flash, and go from there. But in practice, the early level of dominance that Orianna has, just from abrase damage as well as Clockwork Windup, has been such a tough thing to deal with for any Azir, so that they hit 6 later, they're behind the tempo. Actually forcing those sums is quite difficult. As played out to me, going to be the big question mark of this draft. He to me has an X factor. I do think that there are a lot of immobile carries. The only one with a dash on the enemy team is obviously Gideon, and you know, he needs to target. Obviously Morgan is Udyr, so he'll just run away as Udyr does. But outside of that, for Karis, for energy, for effort, the Bard actually can be a big deal. And one of the things I do love about Bard is that the melee ult doesn't have as much value, and I think that that is one of the reasons why maybe they didn't want to go for, even though they banned themselves, didn't want to give Nautilus, but also not take it themselves, because we do know that into these multiple CC comp, there can be a lot of power. Sponge now does the same thing, where he doesn't have mid lane prio or top lane prio. Is like, what if I went in? And this one is a little bit more excused because he is a level up, so he's like, maybe I can fight, but you can't.
And he didn't want to get double scuttled either, so he was like, maybe I can fight for this, as he just got his smite cooldown up. But yeah, prio on the lane does mean that it does go to Gideon. He does get double scuttled, but he is behind on his camps at the moment. So we'll see how that works out for him. Gideon, or rather Sponge, is hanging out here, and Fleta is coming in as well, looking to make this happen. Gonna get the flash out of Karis. And a nice collection already.
And that could be an opportunity, particularly because Satan didn't have to flash for that play. Often see Azir straight flash for flash when they go in on the level 6. Not going to be the case here. Sponge is gets cancelled by Karis. nice little optimization there. Might even look for another one. And Sponge really being bullied here, which allows Gideon to catch up on some of the farming time that he was denied by himself earlier on.
Still counts.
Still counts.
Still counts as a denial.
And we'll see if Sponge is able to actually capitalize on this, because 1v1, you're never going to kill the Orianna, even if she doesn't have flash. 2v2, though, there might be an opportunity as Poppy. Gideon going to start up the Avoid Grubs here.
Yeah, I think you might as well. At this moment in time, you don't really want to fight towards that dragon, so just take it here while you've got still some presence on the map. You haven't gone back yet. You know that Sponge had gone back due to Karis' pressure, and so you get a little bit of extra time to take down these bubs. And down they will go. So that's 3 in favor of Bro. We'll see if Sponge tries to make a move at this dragon anytime soon.
And at the very least is going to look for some of the farm, but we'd already seen Gideon actually making his way towards this bot side. Sponge could also look for a gank. That is pretty high risk. Middle ground would be taking away this Krug and then making your play, but there's a very small window where Bro is going to know, and it looks like instead just going to get Sponge back on XP parity. Should be able to make his way out there, and does now get spotted. And that has Teddy's against was back.
Yeah, and he's pretty far up the lane. This is a 3v3 when they see Gideon, and now Pleta has to flash away from this one in a bit of trouble. Flash on in from Gideon as he is ruthless, and the chase is on. Sponge just trying to get away, has to flash himself, and Gideon is right there to scoop up the kill.
And that is a really big miscommunication there, because if Sponge is actually going for the full clear as opposed to just getting the big rump, Teddy can't back. But if Teddy has to back, which he does because he hasn't backed yet, then Sponge can't go for that. One of two things needs to happen, and they did neither, and as a result got punished pretty heavily. That's no flash on Sponge, no flash on Pleta, and an early gold lead for Brion. Again, you're Gideon. Very aggressive flash. They're very happy to go in. And the Bros looking good here again in the start of game number 2.
Yeah. Gideon utilizing the Hex Flash. Atlas would be proud. And we'll take another look here at this play. They're trying to set it up aggressively, but Teddy's so far behind it, and Pleta takes so much damage. It doesn't work out for DRX.
Yeah, they're really big as well, is that... So Pleta actually doesn't get... I think he immediately wanted to Q on Envy as all the play.
Trying to make it happen, but look, Effort's here, and Gideon's here again. Sponge is going to join on in, but just a little bit late, and the shockwave is huge into the Poppy ultimate. Where has this Bro been all along? Well, oh no, Gideon is going to go down, but it is a trade 1-for-1 at the end of the day at least.
And Bro's still going to take that. A lot of investment, but Flash actually being used by Satap there. Still going to feel pretty good, and this wave is going to get denied because there's no teleport available. So still a net gain for the Bros, even though it was a 1-for-1 trade. Crucial as well is that even though Brion was able to pick up the early objective due to the bot side play, there hasn't actually been any attempt at Dragon here from DRX. Take another look. Play gets set up here, and they know about Effort. They don't know about Gideon, though. Again, really crisp timing, and Gideon will be my frontrunner for POG, if not for the fact that he then overestimates his damage and just gets lightly shoved by Sponge into the turret and dies.
Booped.
Yeah, definitely not a necessary death there on his behalf or on his part. But it still is. Brion looking good early, and again, this composition mid to late game is absolutely terrifying, if not for a really good Bardo or Satap coming in big. But we have just not seen Azir's come up big in, was it 11 games now?
I mean, BDD had a couple of plays.
But did he win?
No. Well, does he have a win on Azir yet, BDD?
I don't know. Maybe like game 1? That they played?
I feel like probably. Like week 1, you know, but not sure. But yeah, it's been rough. We have seen some plays from Azir's, but it hasn't been enough to change the games into a win. Some nice damage already coming in here from Envy. Just showing off the power of Aphelios in general, but also Aphelios Melio. And now they're just going to take this Hextech Drake. No Drakes have gone down just yet, but just pushing the bottom lane of DRX away should be enough to get this objective.
There's no 6 for Pleta. So without Bardold, I don't think you have any setup. Effort does have his ultimate available, so not going to be an opportunity here. And again, that's due to that early play working out very nicely. Bro now also sitting on the leads. Envy also playing very aggressively here, meaning that Teddy doesn't actually get to walk up at all.
Ooh, that was cute. Didn't matter, but I liked the idea.
Definitely a continuous level of aggression, as in they go.
Yeah, trying to fight this here once again is pretty interesting, as Gideon just going to ult him away. And so no real fight is going to happen. Every once in a while, like every 5 minutes, we'll check on the top lane. It's still going as you would imagine.
It's still there. Still happening.
Yeah, they haven't left the game yet. That's good news. But it is Morgan who does kind of just stand there and take turrets, which is pretty good. Just to get that slight lead in the top lane as well.
And Drake goes to Breon. And now, next set of grubs also looking like they are going to go to Breon. Although we do see Sponge and Rascal trying to contest. We have both supports on their way. Plata should be there earlier, given that he is Bard. But I don't think that's going to be in time. At the very least, this is going to be 5 grubs. And I think it's 6.
Yeah, it should be. You see that DRX are here, but they're not here.
You got out.
You got to do something. Who's going to go on who? The Bub. Oh, it's going to go to Gnar. Okay, they do get 1, but they did not deny the 5th, and the ult does absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Envy is just getting free farm in the bottom lane.
Is a cannon wave, so Teddy at least won't have to pay that much for his investment, but this hesitation from DRX is not something that fills me with confidence. And for Breon, again, they're peachy. Already got an early Drake. He got Camtech out of the way, so there's basically only good dragons left for your soul.
Getting on in there. That's a nice amount of damage already burning down his Rascal. Again, you don't necessarily have to net yourself the kill, but just pushing him out of lane and being more and more annoying can still be effective.
The one difference with this game and the previous one is I do think that the DRX composition does skill very nicely in the mid to late game. Obviously, the Vladdy Varus is going to be relying on actually hitting damage, but with the new items, I do think that there has been a pretty sizable increase in the length of which Varus has been relevant, which is weird because Surreal has already got nerfed quite hard, and that was one of his core items previously, but Opportunity has definitely helped a little bit. But that is relying on you executing a team fight well. You have these big wombo combo ultimates. You can use Plata's ult to set up for Satep, set up for Rascal. But that level of cohesion we haven't seen from DRX, have seen from Bro.
Yeah, it's also rough when you're behind as DRX because sometimes even if you hit like the Bard ultimate or the Sejuani ultimate, you can't really follow up on it easily. You know, if somebody has if they have all sums available and flashes available on the side of Bro and you just flash and ult, it's like, okay, well now you can't engage.
But you still got to do it.
Yeah.
That's the point, right?
But if they dodge it and they're ahead, you can't really force it from there. All right, well. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like, it's a Poppy, okay. Like, you did it, and, there was no play-by-play follow-up because there was no gameplay follow-up.
I know it's Poppy, I know it's hard to engage on, and Milio is in the vicinity, but at the very least, have them force something. They got Flash.
They got Flash.
That's something. But that walks into the jungle, Veldas. I'm any second now. And something's gonna.
No. Yeah, I mean, trying to go for that play. I feel like if Teddy is right there and you have the damage like ready to go, and Satep is in position to shuffle him or to Emperor's Divide him right when the Bard ultimate ends.
Like Sponge had his ult. And he could have like moved behind him. They could have CC'd Che.
Yeah. They could have. But instead they just said, oh, it's not a high enough percentage play, we're just not going to go for it. But unfortunately, when if you're looking for plays and nothing's really working out, then you just don't do anything. And that is also not going to win you games at this point. Bro have set up here for the Rift Heralds.
Oh, possible fight this time around. Plata almost has his ult available.
There is vision in the pit. is pulled out. The ult does go into Morgan as Sponge does come in, not get the steal. And now they're running away. They don't have the Sejuani ultimate. In goes Gideon and Morgan. Look at Teddy. He's alone. He has to flash away. He can't get away from this Udyr. As Morgan continuing to try to get some damage done. Maybe he overextended a bit, but he's fine because he is Udyr. Oh,
Maganar.
there you go. The ult comes in. A chance. But Gideon is just going to play bodyguard, and they do not commit to it. And the Rift Herald goes to Bro.
No commit, no loss. Also, no win, but we're gonna gloss over that. As a whole lot is used, teleport invested, Teddy has to use both sums. And for Breon, they're vibing. They've got a Herald.
Just hanging out.
Although I don't think they were able to actually pick up the eye. So that is something that the DRX were able to deny. But they did invest heal and again Teddy summoners NTP and didn't get a whole lot out of it. But maybe next time.
Gideon was on a ward. He actually replaced it there and it immediately got swept. So Skemtech Drake individually, Gideon might be able to try to threaten a steal, but he's just not gonna take the risk.
What it'll be.
드래곤을 처치했습니다.
Mountain Soul.
Ooh.
Okay, well now if you... Okay, he's going Leandri's though, right? So
He is, yeah.
For Sid Tab, it's going to be nice, but you still have this lethality Varus, and if Bro get Mountain Drakes with Poppy Udyr, you're not killing him. It's not going to happen.
No, he definitely won't. Koenig Rooken alone makes Morgan 9 killable by Setab, items notwithstanding. And that's not even taking into account the gold lead. And this game, without a shadow of a doubt, is going to last another, what do you say, 25 minutes?
I think we got like 20 minutes. I have faith in Bro. They're being very proactive. Here's Rascal. He's getting a lot of hyper procs, actually doing damage to an Udyr. One of the first times ever in the history of League of Legends. But yeah, Rascal, nicely done. Going to push him out. There's a TP coming in from Karis. And he will take over this lane.
That is a possible hint at what might come in the future. Rascal actually might have enough items, I think particularly with Black Cleaver, to chew through Morgan in long lanes, start winning side. And you need a pressure point somewhere if you're DRX. We also see that Teddy's damage still is pretty respectable. Now is playing into Red Gun. There is also effort with his heals available. But at least Teddy can still chunk a decent amount. I do agree with you, though. If DRX keep the Drakes away, there is definitely a possibility here. If more Drakes than one go over the Breon, I don't think you ever have the damage. And even with a wombo combo, I don't think there's enough burst. And wombo comboing is easier said than done into Milio and Poppy.
Yeah, definitely is. Here's Rascal with Teddy just trying to poke down Envy. It doesn't really work out. Morgan is alone in the top lane because of this, but Rascal pretty fast can just hop up to the top side. And it's not a big deal. Both teams just posturing around the south side river here. And Sponge electing to get into a little bit of a scuffle with Gideon. A lot of fighting, a lot of trading going on. There's no objective here, just trying to chip away at their opponents. Maybe Bro would love to take those tier 1 turrets if possible. Gideon is going in pretty deep, and he is tanky, but is he that tanky? The answer is no, and ult's going to come down. And now a chance here for the Meganar to get this one as the wall up into Gideon, and there it is. Rascal will pick up the kill onto this Poppy.
And Breon, not going to be more than just a kill, but still, bit rough there. Unnecessary overextension from Gideon. Definitely wanting to Poppy a little bit too close to the sun. Gets punished appropriately. And that is a kill going over to Rascal. And that's big. Rascal getting more fed, I think, is one of the... used to be a really reliable win condition. Obviously, the Rascal, as of late, hasn't really been able to replicate that consistently, but having a Gnar in the side lane that is actually able to chew through again, as soon as you get what I assume will be a Black Cleaver, with enough time, he will actually be able to do so. Could be quite big. And here we see Gideon go in. If you go and sweep out vision like this, that alone, you're probably fine. Going in by yourself into the Bard is definitely not the way to go. And then, as soon as the Bard lands, Gideon is basically dead. A lot invested here from DRX, but they can't because there's no objective on the map, so they don't have to be too worried. about a counterpunch coming through. And that means that Baron is up 20 minutes in. It's 2-2, Valdez, with 1 Drake apiece.
The golds, slightly in favor of Bro. They do have that. Crippling finished already for Karis. So...
Teddy went Serpent's Fang second.
Yeah. There are some shields. You know, you got the Melia, you have the Orianna, the Udyr.
You know what? There's also Locket bot first by Gideon. I still don't think it's good enough, but there are actually a lot of shields.
At least there are shields.
No, but like, there's like a lot, right? Because there's a Poppy shield, the passive Locket, Orianna. Really, the only one that doesn't have a shield of his own is Envy, and he will just be perma shielded by Mr. Effort. So it makes sense.
It does. It actually does. Is it the best item he could have built?
I would have liked Opportunity more, I think. I think Opportunity is really good. Or, you know, just finish your tier item. Never going to feel bad about that one. But he is still pretty far away off of finishing that. This Drake must get for DRX. And for Brion, it's not a must take. So I'm okay with them letting go of this one. If that's what they choose to do, I think now they do.
Yeah, I mean, DRX are going to get the Drake, right?
Yes.
It's getting pretty close. Gideon is kind of running in, but he's not committing to it. Team here for the side of Bro has grouped up in mid, even a TP committed to, and now Gideon's taking some damage already. As now they do have, you know, the 5 Void buffs, and that is going to be a lot of damage into this mid-tier 1. They take it down. Meanwhile, Rascal just ignores the whole play, doesn't have TP, just sits down on bottom side, and he'll be happy to do just that.
As Gideon in the face of Sponge.
Smited and slowed down. That's the ult on in, and the damage from downtown from Teddy is good as well, but it's still Poppy, and Gideon will survive.
Really nice little sidestep there from Gideon, completely distracting from the fact that he should not have gone for that play. If he gets hit by the Bard ult, he probably still ends up going down. Not going to be the case. And the Bard ult not being there in that mid lane play actually was also the reason why Bro did a great job of pushing aggressively there. If Bard ult's there, you're definitely in a lot more risk. As Morgan sees them, says, "You're not allowed to back there," and then is greeted by his greatest enemy, Walls. So we'll leave it at that. And now DRX have delayed the loss condition and are starting to stack up. And hey, Mountain Soul always going to be good. Obviously, Brion will have has 2 carries that actually do have enough damage to chew through. But I do have to say, we see Crippling for Karis, which doesn't have as much pen. And the damage of Poppy and Udyr is relevant, but not if your opponent has a Mountain Soul, right? Eventually, like, the burst and the chip damage that comes through isn't going to be enough. Steady!
Uh-oh, he is very isolated here. Wants to flash to this. Doesn't even have to. Just gets to the magical journey. And Morgan just doesn't do anything. Taking a bunch of damage on the backside here, too, from Rascal and Teddy. So that collapse not really going to work out for them.
And I thought they might have tried to go for it with Meganar and Flash available, but DRX are looking for a higher opportunity play. Haven't found it just yet, Valdez.
Yeah, they don't want to go for that 80%. They want that 95 plus. And I suppose that is okay. In a game that is pretty close, I think it's decent to not take any too big of a risk, because that could just end the game, even if you were in a position where you had a pretty good chance. So I don't mind it. The poke damage that is coming out from not only Teddy, but also Satap and Rascal is quite annoying when we do get into 5v5s for Bro, as they would love to, you know, run at the opponents, control space, but you don't have any engage. And then Varus is hitting you with arrows, Satap's hitting you with soldiers, Rascal's hitting you with boomerangs, and you just kind of try to run at them, but it doesn't really work. So a lot of posturing, waiting around.
One of the really interesting things about human beings, and this is a well-studied and very interesting scientific phenomenon, is that we don't deal well with a lack of input. You know, like we don't really thrive when there isn't anything to listen to hear, to see. And really, this game so far is really providing an excellent opportunity of what happens to two casters. If just
when they're deprived of any input. Yeah.
Any second now, Valdez. Any second now.
Yesterday we had a game that was 1-1 at 20 minutes. So
Hey!
I suppose this is better. They're going to do the Baron. Oh, man. But they know this is happening, so can they actually commit to this is really the question.
TP is ready.
TP is ready. Now we're waiting for it.
A lot of damage.
Eskel is coming in. Gideon's getting pretty low. He's absolutely going to have to get out of here. And that leash not going to be utilized by DRX, but Satab says, okay, let's start up the Baron now ourselves and take it down from 100% health. And, you know, they might just be able to. Gideon is pretty far away from this one. He's being zoned by a Bard.
Leda has to use his ult here, surely.
He's got to get Gideon away, but Gideon has wrapped around on the right side. Could try to flash in, but the damage has stopped. And the wobble combo is huge from the side of Bro. And now everybody on the side of DRX has to get out. And Gideon flashes away from Baron, who actually does damage now. And nobody does the Baron, and nobody dies.
Baron's trying to save us, Valdez. He's trying to get us some kills, and it just isn't happening. Why didn't Blada just ult them when they were approaching? Why didn't they go in when Gideon was almost down?
I guess the Baron wasn't low enough, but you can try to ult.
Rascal,
like
you
here.
a Mega Gnar with Flash.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bro just ran at them, and they had the Orianna combo with the Infernum Moonlight Visual.
It's fine, Valdez. It's fine. They get DRX get the Drake. It's a good play.
They were just building up to getting the third Drake.
Yeah.
I see. Nice play from DRX here.
I've been looking at this like a checkers match, but they're playing four-dimensional chess, Valdez. This is on me.
You gotta see the lines. You have to find the lines here. I'm not sure if we've done a good job of seeing them yet. But yeah, second Mountain Drake for DRX is pretty good. The items for the carries of Bro have been utilized to deal with the Mountain Soul, so that is good. And even as the game comes along, they are going to scale really well. But again, like I said at the top of the day, I think it just comes down to which team plays better.
Yeah, even in this game, who knows? If Mountain Soul is picked up, I do think DRX are actually in a really good position. Rascal already is a really big nuisance in the side lane, and from that point on, he's going to be even harder to deal with. And if Brion's damage on Gideon Morgan isn't enough, then it is all on Cars and Envy, who do have an incredible amount of reliable damage available. But actually getting access to the backline should be quite hard, because there is a lot of threat and a lot of innate safety with the Bard, the range that Teddy will have, given that he is Lethality Varus. Satab also going for a build that I am actually happy about. Should go Death Gap and then Void Staff. And then actually able to chew through these frontliners.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Even especially as the game comes along, you're going to want that Void Staff penetration for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Just in case you need to fight.
Yeah, in case you decide on attacking the enemy champion.
It's more of a deterrent than anything. They see your Void Staff and they go, oh, I don't know about that.
I'd rather not, actually. I'm a pacifist. I don't like fighting. If you just win the game through side laning, you don't have to fight the...
We saw it last game.
Yeah, you could...
Brion proved that.
All right, we're moving ahead in the mid lane for Bro. And DRX have not pulled the trigger on this Baron. Still waiting on the Mountain Soul, perhaps. But if we get into a split situation where Bro take a Mountain Soul, or a Mountain Drake, rather, and then they just, you know, kind of back away. Oh, they run on top of the ball! Don't do that, guys. Teddy has to flash. As now counter-engage does come in, but Gideon threatening the disengage. And you know what the problem is that both sides just have incredible disengage. So nobody wants to fight. DRX have engaged, but they're not finding the angles, and they're being denied it.
No, but DRX are positioning now, so they can turn that into a threat to Baron. Surely they'll start it, right?
I mean, they have pretty nice damage with Gnar and Azir, at least.
Okay, So Brion is actually calling their bluff and then decide that they are not calling the bluff. The bluff was correct. Do they have enough damage? It's going down quickly. Satep has a great damage for shredding this. Gideon,
he does not have Bard ultimate this time around, and they have stop damage on the Baron in the knockaway. But the Baron's going to gain health, and now they're going to run away.
Why?
Oh no! I mean, health bars are still very low, and Gideon's like, well, let me just show off my low health bar because I got to check if they're doing Baron.
Surely they wouldn't, right? We've ignored side lanes for, I don't know, the better part of like the last 10 minutes.
This is free
side
Baron
lanes
for DRX.
aren't real. Yeah, they get it.
This is free.
Again, they're playing chess, Veldez.
I mean, yeah, you poked them down so low, and then the Poppy ultimate got them away, and Bro did not commit, so you might as well just take the Baron when Gideon comes in with 10 health.
If you play smart enough, you can finish your opponent without ever taking a piece.
You don't need to eliminate your opponents. Just eliminate the objectives in the base. That's all you need.
So this should lead to a Mountain Soul for DRX.
In theory,
they have Baron. They have a winning side lane in Rascal. So he's going to be in a side lane off, pushing by himself. They actually have pretty decent vision control towards the top of the map. He is a really big threat, so either they send over 2 people, in which case all he needs to do is stall. He does need to keep pushing though. I would love that. Not going to happen. He does have a great Narbar, so they can also just hard commit to this fight. Renwin's done.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to send it. The ults are flying every which direction. Envy takes a bunch of damage, so does Gideon. And the poke is actually sticking right now onto Bro.
That's big, and Effort used his ultimate, so now there's a big play opportunity to poke. Actually landing.
And I suppose this is all they had to do. Envy doesn't really have a health bar at this point. He does not have red-white either. It's Morgan and Gideon on the right side. Morgan trying to just threaten something, but...
Look at the side lane. Rascal actually going in aggressively. Doesn't need to peek as he's close to the fight. And there's no snap engage from Brion. They don't have the tools.
What snap engage?
That's my point.
What ability to engage in this game? Not from Bro. I mean, they have the ball. They have the shockwave. That's it. It's pretty much it.
Poppy can flash and slam someone into a wall.
Yeah. I like how Gideon has gone Warmogs in this game. That's very smart when you're dealing with this amount of poke, and there are many times where DRX can't finish you off, but if you are there with full health, it could change the game. So he's finished that. But this is Mountain Soul for DRX, so it doesn't quite matter.
Yeah, I do think they lost the game about 50... No, not 50. About 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, 7 to 10 minutes.
Which obviously DRX have been aware of right from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's 4 kills at 33 minutes, Veldez.
Yeah, we're just enjoying our bro and brew. Just hanging out. I have my tea. Chronicler has his big bottle of water. His big thermos thing, whatever that is.
It's just a bottle. It's just a bottle of water.
Bottle.
It's not
How much can that baby hold?
1 liter.
Really? It's bigger than that.
No, it's 1 liter. That's a little bit more if you fill it beyond that. That's 1 liter of water.
That's nice.
It's not 2 of those and you're done for the day.
Yeah. Do you just drink 2 liters of water?
I try.
Do you ever go above and beyond?
No.
Do you ever try to go for 3?
I don't know why I would. If it's in the summer, then yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Korean summers are hard.
A lot. Ooh, they engaged.
Teddy.
It's happening. They're running at Teddy. They got his flash. And that's it. Can they get anything else? That stun is not going to hit. And Sponge now is full health. Gideon has to run away. Morgan has to run away. They don't have the follow-up. The side lanes are becoming a problem as they happen. And Rascal is continuing to push. It's only Karis to deal with 2 lanes. That's not going to work eventually.
There is a prophecy, Veldez. A prophecy of an objective that can get Bro back in any game. And it's spawning in 4.5 minutes.
It's their only hope. At this point, I mean, you just gotta send it onto the Elder Drake. Otherwise, I this game is pretty much over. Still only 4 kills. I'm trying to look here at the lowest amount of kills. It was 3 kills. We had it happen actually in 2022 summer. And guess who was in that game?
It was Bro.
It was Bro.
Of course it was
Versus
Bro.
DK. That was that game also that it went to the Baron without any kills. And then there was the one team fight and DK ended.
Classic.
That's
Classic
why.
Bro.
That's why it was only 3 kills.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've surpassed that. So no records to be broken unless we're aiming for 94 minutes, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
Well, we can still set a record for Spring 2024.
True. Okay, that's good. Potential records to be broken. Don't think we've had this low of a kill game yet.
We have not.
And you know what's good is we have a potential game 3 as well.
I
So
know.
this, we could even break a further record.
Jason as well saying stay hydrated.
Check your posture, chat.
Stay hydrated. Get a nice glass of water.
Get those shoulders back.
Yep.
Chest out.
Absolutely.
Make sure you do some stretching.
No
you don't want to
slouching.
You don't want to sit for too long, you know?
Maybe get up, walk around for a bit, do some knee raises.
Yeah.
Because we are in this we're in for a long day, chat. If you're just going to be sitting, that's no good.
Yeah. Make sure you rest your eyes from time to time. Get that blue light filter on, Make sure you have your brew for the bro and brew. You get some water,
Yeah,
or some coffee or anything else.
For reference, the lowest kills in a game this season was 11. So we're at almost a third of that.
There's a chance we get a big team fight and then, a bunch of deaths happen.
Yeah, it'll be like maybe 9. One way or another. I don't know who.
If it's a clean ace.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah. This is why this Warmonks is so critical for Gideon, because he has to be the person who runs at them. And if he doesn't heal against this, okay, that's the cleanse and the melee ults used. Sponge is impenetrable at this point, it seems like. And, oh god, they both got hit by that. The follow-up should come in here, but Satep says no, as the Poppy ultimate knocks him away, and Karis is TPing in. Now Morgan gonna get into that backline. Gideon is so low, but it's Satep alone! He's gonna go down! As Morgan was zoning everybody else away, but the health bars are so low here. On the side of Bro, another stun into the wall, but it's Meganar eventually, right? Right, Rascal? Do something with it! Hit them! And they will take down Envy! That is the person they were looking for! Low health bars on both sides now, but Teddy at full and Sponge at full. The tank DPS combo will push Bro away as we had 2 kills.
2 more kills, Feldas. Action the likes of which this world has never seen.
Unbelievable.
As Baron gets started up.
They gotta be careful about this timing.
No, they got it.
Well, I mean, they're gonna get the Baron. But
yeah, no, you're right.
You gotta get the Baron, and you probably want to go back, and then you gotta be ready for the Elder. And you don't have Satep, so the damage on this Baron is not great. So, okay, they're gonna back and run at the Elder. They should be there on time, but the setup might not be great.
So here we see some miscommunication on DRX their part. Initially, I think they actually played this quite nicely, try and play it slow. Then that play from Sponge is quite big, and then Satep goes in alone, which would have been fine if anyone else was there. But Plata went back to keep Teddy safe from Morgan, who walked around. And then Rascal eventually showed up.
Here we go.
Elder flip.
It's beginning. The Elder dance of doom.
Brion can now just have done to them the same thing that happened to DRX last game.
I think Rascal's just going to end the game.
Yeah.
TP from Satep. Pretty interesting. Definitely committing pretty hard to trying to end the game here.
They can, though.
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to. Can anyone else go back? Morgan, I don't think he's enough. I don't think he's enough to just stop them alone.
The same ending?
It's the same ending, except there's an Udyr involved. Oh, no. As down will go the Nexus, and we will go to a game number 3. 6 kills in the contest. Nobody dies in the Elder flip, including the Elder Dragon. I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. And so our DRX. Rascal left with his head scratching. But he got the win. And that's all that matters.
That's the only thing that matters.